and like while somebody was asleep, you like dabbed it on their tongue.
Hey, at least it was at the end of the meeting. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Wait a minute. Oh.
Zombie talk at the end of the meeting.
All right.
Not at the beginning.
Well, I will tell you this: Daryl is not going to kill Merle.
How do you know?
Because if you were paying attention on the sneak peek preview,
Yep.
there's a point where Glenn goes, "What's he doing here?" When Daryl shows back up at camp at the prison.
Well, he could have showed back up after having dispatched Merle. No.
But
Did I say that he has to kill? They're going to confront. There's going to be some kind of
Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel. There's going to be some kind of Cain and Abel.
definitely.
What has to happen to you if you get bitten by a zombie? You die.
Yes. In Walking Dead
In
world?
Walking Dead.
Yes.
If you get bit.
If you get bitten, you're going to catch the fever and die.
You catch fever, you die, then you come back as a zombie.
Correct.
But it wouldn't matter.
Out. A lot of those bites are bleed outs.
Well, yeah, if it's like severe enough.
Up here.
Right. But if you just like, even the guy who got the bite, you remember in the first season, they're fighting off the zombies, he had a bite on his stomach and they left him by the roadside. He was done for.
Which guy?
Oh, it was in the very first season where the group is...
They're dozing off in the back of the room.
Right. Very first season. And they just left him to kind of bleed out, or well, actually he was catching the fever, so they left him by a roadside.
Catching the fever.
Was he part of the group?
He was part of the group. Part of that original group with Shane before Rick had caught up with everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about those Real Housewives of Miami?
Hold on a second.
Real Housewives of Miami.
More importantly, what we now know is you can spend New Year's Eve and New Year's Day watching every Walking Dead. They're doing the entire
Teresa, you can catch up,
I
Teresa.
will watch that.
What a hell of a way to start
watch
the new
that.
year.
Yeah, now that you have AMC.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? It is.
Too bad
He's got his dick.
You
Oh.
But you got the hoppa. Don't you have the hoppa?
I used to have the hot
What?
Somebody got zombies disease from getting scratched by a zombie?
Yes. Remember the guy in the prison, or they were fighting off? He's one of the big prisoner.
He got
big prisoner.
bit.
He didn't get bit. The guy, the zombie had lost his hand or whatever and stabbed him with his bone.
Is that right, Kevin?
Well,
Slashed him with a bone.
The bone was lethal.
He didn't get. Well, how do they know? Maybe he wouldn't have turned.
Maybe he wouldn't have turned, but they didn't give him a chance.
It was a little premature, if you ask me.
It was the
That
guy just took him out.
That killed him, right?
Yeah, it was the Rico Suave dude that Rick split his head open at the end.
I mean, maybe it's in the saliva. Maybe have you ever thought of that? Maybe it's carried in the saliva, not.
Do
the blood.
corpses manufacture saliva?
Kevin?
I don't think so.
Well, I
don't think so.
Zombie would come get me like now.
What? You wish a zombie would come and get you?
A zombie when you
Aren't you thrilled?
Like now.
Just drag you off by the toe and carry you away.
You know, you laugh, but this was actually the opening to last week's Big Bang. Was a similar discussion about Walking Dead, and it was hysterical, where they were talking about they're having the debate. If a mummy bites you,
A mummy.
let me get this straight. Yeah, if a zombie bites you, you turn into a zombie. If a mummy bites you, you're just a guy who gets the humiliation of having been caught and bitten by a mummy.
Oh, because they're all slow.
They're also slow.
Well, there's usually only one mummy. I mean, for the most part, it's
True.
okay. So they don't know that if you got scratched by a zombie, you turn into a zombie.
But
And
I think they're
zombies.
assuming.
I think zombies do salivate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe their bodies are reanimated, but they're corpses. It's just something in the brain that gets them to basically reanimate, and they're not
Do
human.
they bleed when they're zombies?
Yeah.
Well, they have blood left. It's like
Okay,
old
so
blood.
if they're actually bleeding, then they would salivate. But if they're not bleeding, they can't
That's a
salivate.
good point, Teresa. Thank you for. Hey, Teresa, getting in on the.
Not bad, not bad.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The morning show's version of Talking Dead In.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
When we've seen zombies get their head or their arms, they don't gush blood. So there's not like blood running through their veins, right?
They
No,
don't spit at each other. Or
they don't.
spit.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't.
How would they masticate their food?
How would they master what?
Masticate.
Without saliva?
Yeah.
Well, and maybe they're using the natural, like the blood that's there to kind of, provide a little liquid to keep it from being all dry as it goes down the gullet.
Brains are juicy.
So I
That's
guess
true.
zombie ladies don't have to worry about spitting or swallowing.
So what's that? One more time, T-Pro?
I thought you were going to make that face about vaginal dryness.
Spitting or swallowing? Jeez. Okay, I'm going to end on that.